called the doctor's office and felt like the person on the other end of the line lacked empathy, was rushed, or maybe just didn't care? It might seem small, but these kinds of first impressions can really shape someone's entire healthcare experience. Hi everyone, my name is Caitlyn, and today I'll show you what it takes to perform the duties of a medical receptionist at our fictional but fully functional office called the Medical Spine Center. This job is equal parts communication, organization, and multitasking, as well as customer service. And doing it well means paying attention to the little things while also keeping the big picture in mind. Today, I'm going to cover 4 main roles of the medical receptionist. This includes professional phone and email etiquette, scanning and organizing documents, maintaining the clinic cleanliness, and using computer and other systems to manage files. Along the way, I'm going to point out how strong communication plays a role in this job. Let's start with the phone. In this communications class, we've learned how things like tone of voice, pacing, and word choice, called paralanguage, which we learned in the Essentials of Communication textbook, can totally change the message being received. That's especially true in healthcare. You have to sound professional, calm, and empathetic, even if the waiting room is packed, the printer is jammed, the phone is ringing, or the doctor is asking you a million questions. Answering incoming calls in a professional manner is one of the most crucial jobs of a medical receptionist. If somebody is calling a doctor's office, you can automatically assume that either A, they're not feeling good, B, they're calling on behalf of someone that's not feeling good, or C, they're just forced to make a medical appointment, and that's no fun anyway. So going through these phone calls in the most calm and courteous way possible helps mitigate all of the challenges associated with dealing with grumpy clients that are in pain, or people that are just dealing with other busy schedule and trying to fit that into their life. Now, here I am answering a call. Let's listen. Thank you for calling Medical Spine Center. My name is Caitlyn. How can I help you today? So hopefully you noticed how I used a neutral, friendly tone and spoke at a steady pace. Even though the person on the other end of the line couldn't see me, I still made sure to maintain proper posture as well as a nice look on my face. This is all related to paralanguage and nonverbal communication in action. This kind of calm, courteous, professional tone can be utilized in a lot of other scenarios as well. Maybe in your personal job or everyday life, if you're trying to have difficult conversations, professional conversations. Doing nonverbal communication while you are taking a phone call is definitely a great point that I think everybody should know how to do. Now, when I'm speaking to a client on the phone, I avoid jargon unless I'm sure that they know what I'm talking about. In the medical world, there's a lot of medical terminology that many people aren't familiar with, so you have to make sure that everybody can understand what you're saying. Additionally, I always make sure to repeat what the person is saying to make sure that there's no communication errors. Let's listen to how I do that here. So I understand that you're calling to reschedule your upcoming appointment, is that correct? Another duty for the medical receptionist is replying to emails in a timely, courteous, and calm manner as well. We get a lot of inquiries in the clinic that come through the email. Now, while I'm replying to an email, I always make sure that I focus on professionalism and keeping my tone as friendly and professional as possible. Even if the client is complaining or having another issue, you always want to make sure to kill them with kindness. Here I am replying to an email, making sure that I'm keeping it timely and not keeping any patients waiting for an answer. Now, let's talk about another really important duty of a medical receptionist, which is document handling. This part of the job can feel repetitive, but it's absolutely crucial for patient privacy and efficiency. Imagine you go to the doctor's office and you give them all sorts of information that's super sensitive and personal. Now, you wouldn't want them just willy-nilly throwing these documents around or not keeping track of them, right? It's very important as a medical receptionist to respect the patient's privacy, especially when it comes to things like legally, like HIPAA. You need to follow these protocols or you can risk your clinic being shut down. We're dealing with a lot of forms here. We're dealing with new patient forms, insurance forms, ID cards, social security numbers, lots of sensitive information. When I'm scanning these forms, I'm always making sure that the scan is legible and that I won't have any issues importing that into our EMR system digitally, as well as filing it in our file. I usually do last name, first name, and date of birth. Accurate document handling and accurate labeling of these documents is critical. Imagine you're the next medical receptionist coming in after a weekend off and we've gotten a lot of new patients. And you walk in to find documents everywhere not properly labeled. Good organization can save everybody time and sanity. Additionally, ensuring accuracy and privacy by storing this information in a secure way adheres to those important protocols that we mentioned earlier, like HIPAA, which protects health information of clients. Now let's talk about the general upkeep and cleanliness of the clinic. Have you ever walked into a waiting room and immediately noticed dust, fingerprints, and clutter? Patients do too, and it affects their perception of the care. Just as you likely wouldn't want to eat at a restaurant with a dirty kitchen or unclean tables, patients wouldn't want to receive medical care from a place that looks dirty or unclean. Here I am doing some of the general upkeep of the clinic. Straightening chairs, making sure the hand sanitizer is filled and available, and making sure that any patient-facing documents are easy to read. Doing these acts may seem small, but they communicate that we value patient safety and comfort. That's nonverbal communication as well through the environment itself. A lot of the receptionist duties happen behind the scenes, like updating documents, inputting patient notes, and keeping spreadsheets accurate, as well as scheduling patients. Here I am updating some of our Excel spreadsheets and patient documents. I'm careful to use consistent formatting in Excel, and I double check all the formulas to make sure billing and appointment dates are accurate. I also edit our patient intake forms in Word, ensuring they're up to date and grammatically correct. This reflects professionalism and credibility. I use headers, bullet points, and bold font to make key details stand out, and I proofread everything, even the emails. A typo in a medical message can easily lead to confusion or maybe even something worse. As you've seen, the medical receptionist role is a blend of practical skills and communication finesse. We use verbal clarity, nonverbal cues, active listening, organization, and technology, all while staying cool under pressure and providing accurate and good customer service. So the next time you call a medical office and someone answers the phone with warmth and confidence, remember, they're doing more than just picking up their phone. They're setting the tone for the entire experience of your visit. Now I'd love to know, if you were in this role, how would you ensure patients feel respected, seen, and heard from the first interaction? What parts of this job would come naturally to you, and which ones do you think would be more challenging? For me, the customer service aspect of things was always a little more challenging, whereas the clinic administrative side of things was a little easier. Thanks for watching my demonstration on how to perform the duties of a medical receptionist.